and equality under the law for all of us.
Vote Justice Joy Cunningham for Illinois Supreme Court by March 19th. Paid for by Joy for Justice, Inc., an Illinois candidate political committee.
Hey Alexa, play WVON 1690 AM.
Getting
Midway Broadcasting Corporation, or our participating sponsors.
Catherine Dunham.
Judith Jamerson.
Debbie Allen.
During Women's History Month, we speak your name. We're WVON.
What time is it?
Here's a friendly reminder from your friends here at WVON. Remember, daylight savings time starts Sunday, March 10th.
Say what?
So remember to set your clocks ahead 1 hour.
Go!
Spring ahead. Fall back. A friendly reminder from your friends here at 1690 WVON.
WVON 1450. Live from the Xfinity Studios, celebrating 60 years. It's the icon of American radio, WVON, Burren, Chicago.
Follow us across the socials at The Wake Up Show Chicago. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. It's The Wake Up Show every Saturday morning at 9, where change begins with every sunrise.
Welcome to The Wake Up Show Chicago.
Welcome to The Wake Up Show Chicago. My name is Larry Ivory. I'm the president, CEO of the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce, and also the chairman of the board of the National Black Chamber of Commerce. And we're glad to talk to you again today on this wonderful Saturday. Hey, but let me start first by introducing one of our co-hosts today. Lord Mike, talk to me, man.
Peace and blessings to the true and living. Truly blessed to be up and at it this morning. I'm all the way woke, ready to get into some great conversation, President Ivory.
Absolutely. And we also have MC.
Man, what's going on, Prez? Listen, I'm ready to wake it up on this morning. I'm talking about diversity, equity, and inclusion. We're talking about Lobby Day. We're talking about the Chamber's networking event on next week. You know, this is going to be hot. And we're taking callers on today at 773-591-1690. And you need to be sharing this show on YouTube and Facebook at the Wake Up Show Chicago. What's up, Prez?
You got it, man. You got it. Hey, let me also give a shout out to our producer, LaDonna Ray. But also, you know, our other main man is not here today with us. None other than Buddy Love. We miss him, but he's going to be back next week. But we're going to get down to the business at hand. We got a number of things going on that we want to share with our listening audience. We have a great networking event. I'm going to kind of pass the ball to MC and Lord Mike and kind of let them give you a little feel for what we're going to be doing on March the 16th, because everything that we do is about diversity, equity, and inclusion. And as you guys know, and if you don't know, you should know that diversity, equity, inclusion is under a legitimate assault at the highest levels. And they're doing this all across the country where they're taking things back. We're actually going back, not going forward. And we're going to have to come up with a game plan to defend ourselves. You know, so it's going to be an important conversation today. So we're going to unravel this thing and kind of get right down to it. So hey, let's start off with the matchmaking session coming up on next Saturday.
Well, we're going to be having another extraordinary experience with the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce's second networking social. You can come on out and join us on Saturday for a luncheon. The event's going to be hosted at the extremely unique Hollywood Boulevard Cinemas. They're a new addition to our vibrant Black Chamber family. We'll be there from noon till 2. So you can come out and immerse yourself in some exceptional networking opportunities with professional peers, corporate leaders, and of course, other influential figures like President Ivory, MC. Gonna have Brother Boudreaux in there. Whole lot more, and it's a great venue. We'll have some great appetizers and hors d'oeuvres and just some great networking.
You know, what is awesome about this event, I was just talking to somebody yesterday and I told them, I said, listen, we're going to have a networking event out there. And they said, Hollywood? I said, yeah. They said, I thought y'all normally have it at, black owned venues, because you're also trying to promote black businesses.
Oh, there
I
you
said,
go.
I said, yeah, this is a black owned business. They said, what? I said, it's a black owned business.
Yeah.
And the fact that the place is so beautiful. I mean, when you go into the atrium, it's nice, it's large. They got a bar they got a bar area that seems to be about 20 feet long. They got areas for live singers, plenty of room for us to network together with. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm,
And then you step on to Hollywood Boulevard where all the theaters are, and each one is themed, and they even have a movie museum there.
Yeah.
And it's phenomenal.
And it's a real museum too. It's got some great things in there. It does. As advocates for diversity and innovation, we are absolutely thrilled, as you can hear, to explore new venues and elevate our networking events. So Hollywood Boulevard Cinema promises to deliver on an experience like no other. So come on out. Don't miss your chance to connect, collaborate, and be a part of something truly special.
Well, let me also just say here that, the venue is nice, but really the kicker to this thing is the networking.
Exactly.
It's the people that you get a chance to meet, the opportunities to build relationships, but also the opportunity to do some business. Okay. Now, we know that every time you go to a networking meeting, is that it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to walk away with a contract, but it does mean that you walk away with contacts, and you got to know how to work the room, find the people who are relevant to you, and then build a relationship. Because I think it's really important. You want to leave a first impression. So if you see someone, whether it be from a CEO of a company, from the casinos or wherever, because they're buying goods and services all the time, whether you're a security company, whether you're a painting company, whether you're a contractor, whether you sell liquor, anything you imagine, they're buying and they're doing it. So you want to come with your game face, come with expecting to win.
Yeah.
And I
right.
think the whole attitude of winning and putting yourself in a position to win is real critical. When you come there, you're coming looking for something. And if you're looking for it, you'll find it. But if you come and you ain't even looking for it, then you wonder how come it wasn't as successful as it should have been for you, because you didn't prepare yourself for the opportunity.
You know what, Prez, and is so true. You got to put yourself in the room sometimes, and you never know who you're going to bump into. Just the other day, Miss Morrison from the Illinois American Water called me up. Now, she had never had a conversation with me, but one of her team members had a conversation with me at a networking event that we had a long time ago. And I guess I made such an impression that they passed along the information. And then she called me up yesterday, and now we're getting ready to do business.
That's fantastic.
So there are networking. I mean, there's networking opportunities at the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce networking events, and you never know who you're talking to. You need to come with your game face on. You need to have your business cards ready, and you need to be able to concisely talk about what you do.
Yeah. You got to have your elevator pitch down.
Come on, man.
Who you are, what you do, and why people should choose you. And I always emphasize this to Black business owners. Always try to always make sure that you understand your competitive advantage.
Yeah,
that's important.
Absolutely. Hey, man, I'm ready to throw down in some heavy conversation. We're going to be having some heavy conversation at the networking event, of course, but we got some heavy things to talk about today, as usual, and I want to get to it, man. So we're going to jump into it here, and we'll be right back with more of the Wake Up Show.
Are you ready to boost your brand's visibility and share your message with our engaged audience? You can. Become a sponsor of the Wake Up Show Chicago and get your brand in the spotlight. Our show reaches a diverse, dynamic, and dedicated audience. Connect with us to learn more about sponsorship opportunities. Call 309-740-4430 today and let's elevate your brand together. Don't miss out on this chance to make an impact. Call 309-740-4430 now.
We are back all the way woke, 773-591-1690. Welcome to the Wake Up Show. We are in the building and ready to make it happen. So if you want to get in there with us, punch at Wake Up Show Chicago into your browser. You'll be live with us, streaming live, checking us out. All these beautiful faces here, you know. So I'm trying to keep my energy and stay upbeat, but you know, I mean, I got to be real with you out there for all the listeners that's listening right now. You know, I'm kind of heated right now with all the shenanigans and foolishness that's going on with the assault on affirmative action, you know, and IDEA, what do you call it, IDEA or DEIA, whatever it is. We're talking about inclusion, diversity, equity, and accessibility. I like to call it the big idea. And these are the fundamental pillars of, you know, having a healthy and successful economic and social environment, right? And it's for several reasons, and we all could run through that, but I think it's more important to me to really identify the latest assault and to kind of talk about how we're going to handle this thing. President Ivory, you with me?
Yeah, I'm with you, man. You know, because, you know, one of the things that we always have to take a look at, and that's the reason that we do what we do as an organization, is because we're trying to eradicate or instead of the gap being wider in terms of economic disparity, we're trying to shrink that gap.
Yeah.
And we know the only way to do that is to education and entrepreneurship.
Absolutely.
Now, the whole DEI thing is attacking those two basic areas, guys. They're attacking education, you know, in terms of, you know, admissions to colleges. And we can remember that, you know, in slavery, we were not allowed to read and do anything. You know, we couldn't read. And if you were found teaching a slave to read, you could be in real trouble. You could get some lashes.
Big trouble.
You could go to jail.
Get your tongue cut out.
Yeah. But see, they understood that if we could do these things, then it would give us ability to integrate and be able to do things that would create economic empowerment.
Yeah.
Now, they tried to stop us, but they couldn't, because we did very well in terms of education. We still got work to do in that. But the other side of that equation is the issue of contracts. And what we need to understand is that Black people already, when you take a look around the country, at a federal level, at a state level, at a municipal level, we're not performing, we're not getting anywhere close to our demographics. You know, say if we're 30% of the community, a population, then it seems like we should be somewhere close to 30% or somewhere 15, 20%.
Yeah.
But guess where we're at? We're at 2 and 1 and 2.5 and 3%. So there's a long way to go. But they're attacking both of those. In the state of Florida, in Mississippi, Alabama, they're attacking everything that ties to diversity, equity, inclusion. They're going to be coming for the DBE program under the Department of Transportation. They just made an announcement on the federal court level that the MBDA program by the federal courts is considered to be not, you can no longer have just African American, Hispanics, and white men have to be included.
Ridiculous.
You know, so all of a sudden now, they already getting, like I tell people, they get 32% of the population. They getting close to 90% of all the contracts.
Right.
And now you want to say that you want to be involved in everything that we do. God, that's out of line, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, especially when you consider that these mechanisms were put in place to help to try to remedy the disparities that were already created, right? So they weren't put there. You know, it's like it's a double-edged sword. You know, they holler, you know, their reasoning, they got perceived reverse discrimination, right? And just on the face of that, perceived reverse discrimination, the ones who have done the discriminating to a degree where they had to implement mechanisms to try to thwart the discrimination, now crying that, well, they feel like it's a reverse discrimination against them, so you need a taste of that pie too.
President Ivory always says, you mentioned that these remedies were put in place to fix the disparity, but there's no disparity in taxation.
Come on.
So President Ivory has always taught us and brought to the table the fact that we get taxed the same way everybody else does, sometimes even more.
Very equitable.
And then very equitable, but yet and still we don't see that our tax dollars being reflected in the businesses that employ us.
Yeah.
Statistics already state that Black businesses hire Black people.
Yeah.
And so if the tax dollars and the procurement contracts from the government do not reflect Black businesses, then that means that we don't get the economic empowerment to begin to change our communities and turn the ships around.
Yeah. But I want to make this point, and this is something people don't often talk about. When you talk about weaponizing different things, the IRS can be used as a weapon. Now, what I found out that when you take a look at the audits that are done, that Black people get audited far more regular than our Caucasian friends.
And that's just what the numbers say.
Okay. That ain't what, that's exactly what Mike said. It's what the numbers say. So when we take a look at it, they keep us out, then they institutionalize and do other things that keep us in a position of just struggling all the time.
Absolutely.
And we have to really, at this point in time, this 2024 election will be critical. There's a lot riding on it. There's a lot riding on everything that's happening. We have to wake up. Like the show says, this is a wake-up show.
Real talk.
We got to wake up, and we're going to have to get involved. And that's why we're doing our lobby day.
Yeah.
Our lobby day is coming up. We're coming down to Springfield so that we can make sure that the voice of Black business is heard loud and clear. And they listen to voters. That's
Absolutely.
what politicians listen to. They listen to voters because they are what? Representatives, which means they represent our interests.
That's right.
And if they're not representing our interests, then they may not get reelected in their position. Because right now, the Democrats and Republicans are fighting to tell their story and want to tell people, the Democrats want to tell everyone what's going on the positive side. The Republicans want to tear all that down. That's just the nature of the game. It's one side against the other side.
Yeah.
So it's going to be important for us, I think, to really get a handle on understanding why it's so important to be a part of this historical event on April the 10th down in Springfield. We're going to meet at the Lincoln statue, and you owe it to yourself to protect your business. Don't wait and call the chamber when all of a sudden the programs are all gone.
You got problems.
And then, you'll understand you're angry, mad, and you got a problem.
Yeah. And they're going to be even more angry when they realize we can't continue to fight uphill, fighting to get back up on the hill with all these extra weights on us. And now you want to jump on top of that after the fact that you didn't help to ensure that the hill wasn't so steep. And now you want to pull it. It's just, I'm a little bit. I just have a question I want to pose. And I won't get stuck on it, but I just got a question I would love to pose, and just as an open question that we can come back to. Okay, because I had a conversation over this last weekend with some friends, and I'm just going to be straight with it. They Trump supporters. Okay, and I tell them first off, I'm about policy, not the politics. So if any one of those politicians drop a policy that's going to help me and help my business, I'm going to most likely support that policy. Okay. Now, I may not like that politician. So I say that to say this. These are people who, for all intents and purposes, they support all of these assaults on affirmative action. Okay. They are against DEIA for whatever their reasons are. Okay. And without even, going too deep into it, my question is here to you, anybody that would be against DEIA and affirmative action. Is it important to you to ensure economic equity for all American citizens, regardless of their color or creed, not in spite of their color or creed, but regardless of that. Is it important that we all have economic equity? And in that, I'm referring to the justice with which income and opportunity are distributed within our American society. Is that important to you?
Yeah, call in. Let us know what you think.
773-591-1690.
You know, it's unique that when you talk about the equity, one of the funny things about it is I believe that most people don't even know how DEIA affects their everyday lives.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't even understand how DEIA begins to affect the corporations that are around this country. There are so many studies that are coming out now that are showing that the bottom lines of many of these Fortune 500 companies have been increased because they had diversity. They had diversity managers, diversity officers who made sure that not only was the workforce diverse, but that when those companies had to interface with a particular type of clientele, a particular type of target market, they had a greater sense of how to speak to them, how to market to them, and to hear their voice for what they're looking for, because that Fortune 500 company's workforce was diverse, and it taught them how to interface with our people, how to interface with Asians, how to interface with Mexicans, and their bottom lines increase. But see, they don't want to have that conversation because that's money, and they don't want to show where it's actually beneficial.
Where the money's going.
Right. They don't want to show where it's beneficial to these corporations because it goes against their political view.
Ultimately, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I would say is that Black people are massive consumers. Okay. And we have $1.8 trillion of spending power.
And only growing.
Okay. Now, here's what we're going to have to do, in my opinion. We're going to have to go back to the old days of protesting, picketing, and simply boycotting. Because we know that in the civil rights movement, the bus strike would have never been successful if it hadn't have been for the economic side of it.
That's right.
So anyone who goes against diversity, equity, and inclusion, we ought to withhold our dollars and our resources. No matter who you are, if you're Elon Musk and you're Tesla, then we ought not to do. If you're Hennessy and you don't believe in diversity, equity, inclusion, you don't invest back in our community with all the money we spend, we ought to stop drinking Hennessy. Now, I know for some of us, that may be tough.
Hey.
We can get more of Buddy Love stuff.
Come on now.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, that's what it's all about.
Okay.
Wait, Buddy Love got some good stuff, y'all.
Yeah.
Coupon.
Yeah. But hey, I mean, the economic boycott, that's where it's at, because this is an economic assault, sometimes an economic assassination. So we gotta get them where it's going to hurt, in the pockets.
Absolutely. And that's the only thing that hurts. That really hurts them is in the pocket. So again, if we take a look at historical data, we're not doing well. And now the little bit we're getting, they're taking back inch by inch,
literally,
state by state, and it's going to get worse.
There's
now,
no choice.
The economic impact of that will be less kids will go to college, less investment in homes and real estate because we won't have the money, businesses won't prosper, and it's going to be a dark day for Black people. And I really mean that. I hope that people understand this is a serious issue that we must address. And if we don't begin to stop it now, it's going to be spreading all across, and it's going to have enormous momentum. It already has momentum, quite frankly.
Yeah.
And they're very intentional about taking it back. But people like Art Fletcher, Perrin Mitchell, those were the icons who fought for diversity, equity, inclusion. And Art Fletcher was the father of affirmative action. He would turn over in his grave right now if he knew they had dismantled it, the Supreme Court dismantled it.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's going to be important for us to understand what's at stake here.
Yeah, absolutely.
The economic side of it.
Yeah. We're going to get more into this. We're going to get even deeper. We're going to take some calls. 773-591-1690. Be sure to punch at Wake Up Show Chicago into your browser so you can get in tune with us. And we'll be right back with more of the Wake Up Show.
Attention, all entrepreneurs and business owners. Tune into the Wake Up Show Chicago on YouTube for expert insights, valuable resources, and inspiration to grow your Black-owned business. Go to YouTube and search for @Wake Up Show Chicago and hit subscribe and the notification bell to subscribe to the Wake Up Show Chicago. For behind the scenes and in studio action, don't miss a single episode. Engage with us in real time. Comment live on YouTube and connect with like-minded entrepreneurs. Hosted by Larry D. Ivory, Buddy Love, and MC Pearson. The Wake Up Show Chicago empowers Black-owned businesses, powered by Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce. Subscribe, engage, and elevate your business journey today.
We are back. We are woke. Welcome to the Wake Up Show. I'm Lord Mike. We are live in the studio with MC Pearson, the lovely super producer LaDonna Ray, and of course, President Larry Ivory, talking about Lobby Day right now, the importance of getting down there. One of the facets that we're going to be touching down on when we get down there to Lobby Day is the assault on affirmative action, DEIA, what's really going on, and making our voice heard that we're not going to tolerate that in Illinois.
Right. Well, and I think Illinois has a governor who's been consistent, and he is not against that, at least from our perspective. Now, what I think Lobby Day for us means is this: when we arrive in Springfield, and we get to Springfield, there's a lot of legislation that is written every legislative session, thousands of pieces of legislation. Our legislative policy team will take a look at legislation, where they're at, and determine if that legislation has an impact, a positive or a negative impact upon us. If it has a negative impact upon us, then we will be telling our members to go talk to the state reps, state senators, to let them know we're against this piece of legislation. If it has a positive impact and we believe that it's good for Black people and Black business, we will be advocating, for that piece of legislation. And so everyone's going to have a sheet to know where we stand on the issue. We're going to have some broad issues that we're going to focus in on. And then we're going to meet with heads of agencies like the Department of Correction, who spends a lot of money, healthcare, all kinds of goods and services that they buy. Unfortunately, when you take a look at their spend is not very significant. I want to give you a quick story, real quick. There's a young lady by the name of Martha Burns. She's with Oakland College, junior college. They have to turn in their diversity spend. And Oakland College, when you listed African Americans, had zero participation. When they listed Hispanics, they had one. When they mentioned Asian,
1% or
one person. One person.
Okay.
When they mentioned Asian, they had zero. The only people who were getting the contract were white females. Okay, that's it. Only white females. See, it's so important for us to take a look at things that sometimes we don't pay a lot of attention to.
Right.
But university and colleges educate people, and Black people and other minority people go to college.
Yeah.
And you know what, Prez? People are thinking right now, well, what can we do about that? We don't have any power to do anything about that. But see, the reality is that Lobby Day is when you do something about that. When you show up to the state capitol in numbers, meaning don't just sit back and say, well, they'll be able to take care of it. Right. They'll be able to say something on our behalf. It matters when we show up in great numbers, and that's when the politicians begin to hear our voice. When they see their voters showing up in their lobbies and in their offices, that is when they begin to listen. So that's what you can do about it, and that's how you can affect change.
If I could dovetail on that, just a little bit, we want to bring those numbers definitely. But President Ivory, you laid out a little bit ago how we're going to actually shape this year's agenda, right? We have a political policy team, rather, that's going to actually look at the things, and they're going to be shaping this agenda, this unified formal agenda. And we want you, all of you Black business owners, right? We want you to help to contribute what's going on with your business, how you feel, whatever policies are working for or against your business, so that you can help us attenuate that agenda.
Yeah. Hey, we got a couple callers. Let's take a couple callers and see what they have to say. You want to go ahead and
Yeah.
bring them in?
Hey, there we got Joseph on the line. Joseph.
Good morning, everybody.
Hey, good morning, Joseph.
Peace and
Joseph,
blessings.
introduce yourself. Tell us who you are and what you do, man.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, President Ivory. Morning, Laura Mike.
Good morning.
My name is Joseph Michael Carr. I live in Chicago, Illinois. I've been practicing accounting and bookkeeping, I guess, coming up on 35 years. I've been involved with the chamber now for about 5 years. So this will be my fourth lobby day. I'm very excited about going down there. And one of the things that we always talk about for lobby day is to make sure that people understand that this is actually going on with white constituents all the time.
Absolutely.
You know, they approach their elected officials, and sometimes they worry them to death until they get what they want. Unfortunately, us Black folks, we don't see it the same way, and we tend to, as Mike said, we tend to want to just let somebody else do it. But we're the ones that we have to do it. That old adage, we have to save ourselves. And unless we start looking at this as an impact on our own families and our own neighborhoods and our own communities, nothing is ever going to get changed. And we really have to dive deep into these numbers, because that's where the system believes that we're not paying attention, and that's how they get adverse bills that affect our population, our communities adversely, because they're buried in other bills. And that's why it's important to have a legislative policy team that can take apart a 1,000-page bill and really look at the impact that it's going to have on Black businesses. President Ivey, you have mentioned a couple of the agencies that we're going to be meeting with down there, but I have a list of them. So we have a list here, so people who are listening in, they can know that we're going to be meeting with the Illinois Department of Transportation, the Illinois Department of Employment and Securities, the Capital Development Board, the Healthcare and Family Services, Central Management Services, and the Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity. So if you're a Black business and you're trying to do business with any of those agencies, whether it's a nonprofit or for-profit, you need to come down to Lobby Day and participate, because it impacts not only your business, but if you start looking at the effect and use a multiplier, and you look at how that policy affects not only your business, but your family and your neighborhood and the community that you live in. And you multiply that out, and you're talking about millions of people being affected. So this is a really important day. I think that April 10th, which is Lobby Day, you need to put it on your calendars now, because we got like 30 days away, but you need to plan to be there.
30 days ago was quick.
Absolutely. You know, I like how you mentioned the various different people that we're going to be meeting with. And I think that a lot of times small businesses think that they don't know how to do business, and or they think that these organizations don't really want to do business with us, but there's nothing further from the truth. I remember at a previous networking event that we had, the Capital Development Board was there, and they were willing to walk you through how to do business with them. You know, I was with CTA the other day. CTA is holding courses on how to get your certifications, and you know they're willing to work with you if you just show up to the table. So it's so important to be at this Lobby Day, because you don't necessarily need to know how to do business with them, because they will teach you and they will walk you through it to make sure that if you do get a contract with them, you won't be crushed underneath the weight. They want you to be in business. They want you to be prosperous, but you got to get inside the room.
Hey,
Yeah.
I got to concur with you, MC. The great MC Pearson. You heard it from him, right? You got to show up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, one of the other things before we take the next caller is that I think Joseph said something that was very important. Our counterparts spend a lot of time down in Springfield lobbying.
Yeah.
If you take a look at how much time we spend, it's insignificant in terms of the time we spend.
Yeah.
We got to do more of that.
Yeah.
So why don't we take the next caller and let's hear from them.
All right, Antonio, you're up.
Wake us up, Antonio.
Good morning, gentlemen. So good to hear you guys' voices. Thank you so much for staying on the wall. Special shout out to President Ivory and all that he's doing in Central Illinois as well. We're excited about the conversation that's being had. We are a national accredited school for the skilled trades located in Peoria, Illinois, and we look to do business through the organizations that you mentioned statewide. I just want to say that it's very important that we listen to what's going on here today and the discussion that's being, talked about because things are working a certain way for a reason. And if we do not get involved with our legislators and come out to sessions like on April 10th and be a part of the chamber, then we are just, we're just on the menu. We're not going to be able to be at the table. We're just on the menu. So it's time for all Black businesses and entrepreneurs, especially non-for-profits. If you're, president of a non-for-profit, to make your way over to the chamber and become a member. I'm a proud member of the chamber, and I'm thankful that the lobbying day is coming up April 10th, and because we need it. I mean, when you talk about education, we know within the trades, we tend to fight for everybody. We fight for the women, we fight for the disabled, we fight for our brothers who are brown. But one of the things that we're afraid to say is Black. And I'm excited over the fact that the chamber doesn't mind saying the word Black or African American, to say that yes, African American males and our families need to be included in all of this equity and inclusion. So thank you guys for all that you're doing. We certainly appreciate it, and we look forward to being on the team and doing our part.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Antonio. Hey, we got another caller. Let's take the next caller. Dr. Jeffrey Sterling.
Good morning, brothers. So good to be with you again. Hope everyone out there is doing well. I just wanted to throw some motivation at you guys this morning to keep the fight. Everybody out there has heard Frederick Douglass's famous quote that power concedes nothing without a demand. It never did and it never will. However, I'm always fascinated at the fact that we never say the next two sentences of that powerful and famous quote. So let me give it to you real quick. Power concedes nothing without a demand. It never did and it never will. Find out just what any people will quietly submit to, and you have found out the exact measures of injustice and wrong which will be imposed upon them, and these will continue till they are resisted with either words or blows or with both. The limits of tyrants are prescribed by the endurance of those whom they oppress. Thank you guys for doing Lobby Day. Got to show up, show out, let ourselves be heard, and let our power be felt. God bless.
Peace on that, brother. Peace and blessings.
Thanks a lot, Dr. Sterling. That's knowledge there. Go ahead, Mike.
Just really quick, hey, we're not asking you to come down to Lobby Day and throw blows with us, but you got to come and bring your voice so you can be heard with us.
Be a part of making history work. This is your day. One day out of a year, you get a chance to impact things in a positive sense and get a chance to network with people. We're going to have national leaders that will be flying in for our Lobby Day. The World Conference, the head of the World Conference of Black Mayors, the legendary Johnny Ford, is flying in for Lobby Day. We got Dr. Kenneth Harris, the head of the National Business League, is flying in because we're going to have a press conference to talk about diversity, equity, inclusion. And we got so many powerful people who are going to be flying in to participate in Lobby Day with us. And you want to be a part of this history.
Man, Prez, you said something. Don't read about history, be a part of history.
Hey, absolutely, man.
Come on now.
Absolutely.
We're going to go ahead and go to break. We're going to catch it on the other side. But y'all, in the meantime, while we on break, y'all go ahead and share this show on Facebook and on YouTube at the Wake Up Show Chicago. Bang.
Are you ready to boost your brand's visibility and share your message with our engaged audience? You can. Become a sponsor of the Wake Up Show Chicago and get your brand in the spotlight. Our show reaches a diverse, dynamic, and dedicated audience. Connect with us to learn more about sponsorship opportunities. Call 309-740-4430 today and let's elevate your brand together. Don't miss out on this chance to make an impact. Call 309-740-4430 now.
Here we are.
Okay, we're back.
In it to win it. 773-591-1690 at Wake Up Show Chicago. Drop that in your browser. You'll be with us.
Again, I want to emphasize to people, and I'm really just sharing with you, we're going to try to get buses there. We need our voices to be heard. And when we show up, guys, it makes a difference. It's a part of the game. You know, it's a part of the recipe for getting what you want.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't show up, if you never come down to Springfield, if you never ask for what you want, you know, and sometimes we can complain about legislators not paying attention to us, but sometimes legislators are frustrated with us because we never sit down and tell them what we want.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we never come down to Springfield. They got all kinds of people coming down to Springfield every day, trying to tell you what they want, the money they want, where they want the budget to be funded. Right now, they're determining the budget.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we ought to be making sure that we go down there and ask for something in the budget that we want.
Bugging them.
And it doesn't take a million man march. It doesn't take a march on Washington. Last week, if you go back to last week's show, we cited statistics and factual numbers from other lobby days that have happened around the country where they brought down 300 people, 400 people, 500 people, and they affected policy change. Last week, we listed the bills that were put in place when just 300 people showed up at a state capitol. So no, don't think that we need to bring a million people in order to affect change. We need you.
That's right.
And 299 more of you.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Let's take the next caller. Brother Hall, talk to us.
Wake us up.
Hello.
Grand Rising.
Oh, great rising to you as well, brother. Listen, I actually just called in to commend you, brothers, for being on point, you know, in terms on, and particularly the brother that called in and talked about we can't be afraid to talk about being black. You know, I just want to commend you guys for the show. I want you to know that many of us listen, and I'm one of them.
We appreciate you,
good
brother.
work, guys. Appreciate you as well.
We are the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce for a reason, absolutely. And you know this. Go ahead, President Ivy.
Now, let's just go ahead and take the next caller, and then we'll keep rolling. Sherry, you're on.
Hello, good morning, gentlemen. This is Terry Simmons with the Illinois.
Terry.
Miss Terry. Oh my goodness. She put on a show a couple of weeks ago. Come on now.
Grand Rising.
Stop playing.
Word up.
Good morning, my dear, wonderful friends and colleagues. I am so excited to join you this morning, and I want to thank you guys for all of your support at the Clean Energy Business Summit at Malcolm X College. We had about 200 people there, and these are businesses that we want to take with you on April 10th to Lobby Day.
Yes,
so, Larry, I wanted to join you guys this morning and congratulate you on this effort because it's very important, and it's important to me for a lot of reasons. Our legislators need to know who we are. They need to know what we do. My goal with the Illinois MBDA is to take away what I've been hearing, that we don't have the businesses to provide the services that we need in the state of Illinois. Well, we're taking that away. We're bringing those businesses down there to you so you can see them. And then we also, while we're doing this, is because we make an impact. We bring a huge impact. Small businesses create 64% of jobs in America.
Ooh.
And Larry, you said something really important. A closed mouth will never get fed. We're going to tell them what we want, and we're also going to tell them what we can do. So thank you guys for allowing me to join you this morning, and just keep on keeping on.
Hey, Terry, I look forward to you coming down with us and partnering. And I think in this environment, and I just want to emphasize this, we sometimes have our own divide and conquer strategy. Willie Lynch did that very effectively.
Come on, wake it up,
now,
Prez.
We have to stop dividing ourselves against ourselves. We got to partner with people. Even when you disagree with people, you cannot always fall out because we can't get this job done by ourselves. If you take a look at any time in history, when people come together, they get something done. But we sometimes will let the smallest things get in the way of us moving forward. And we cannot win this fight, ladies and gentlemen, if we don't come together, set aside our differences and say, look, for this day, we're going to come down to Springfield, our voices. I may not like Larry Ivory, I may not like this person, but I'm coming down to Springfield because it ain't about them. It's about us and the power of the Black business voice. And if we don't strengthen Black business, we will not strengthen Black people. We will not strengthen Black communities, and we will not strengthen America all at the same time. So let's get out of the way of opportunity. The strategy is to divide us against ourselves.
Right.
Let's destroy that philosophy. Let's make it happen. We got another caller. Okay. Go ahead. Next caller. Go right ahead.
Hi, I'm Darva with Just Us Employment.
Good morning, Darva.
I listen to your show. Good morning. God bless all of you. I listen to your show. The Holy Spirit is really doing something out for our people, and we must follow that because we cannot solve a spiritual problem with political answers. And so I wanted to say to you guys, I hear you, but I don't call in a lot. But this is what I would like to do. I was not thinking to call you. When the Holy Spirit got me up, I was honoring Martin Luther King's brother, wife who just passed away. And I just sent that message to them about our people. But I wanted to say this to you. Everything that you guys are trying to do, I already done. Let me say this so you can understand who I am. I worked on hundreds of campaigns. I was Ken Duncan's. I made him. He was the state rep of the 5th District. I became his campaign manager and his community liaison person. I want to say this also to our people. We got to stop creating new things and work on the things that's already there. We want to get the credit for everything, but let the middleman stand in the back like I did. I want to say one more thing. I'm here to help you, not because to get paid, but to help my people. I put hundreds of Black politicians and other politicians in office, didn't get a job, didn't get anything. Me or my children, everybody know who I am. I am running 12 businesses, organizations and ministries without a dollar or a dime. 501c3, none of that. Because I work for the Lord. Let me say this to you. I'm hearing what you said. I wasn't going to talk to you. I missed my prayer call for children because I wanted to see what I needed to do, God. He said, go on that radio. I was like, God, but he said, go on that radio. Brothers, sisters,
I'm going to put you on hold. I want to get your information. You sound like you got a lot of passion. We're going to put you on hold for 1 second, and we're going to get your information. Okay, hold on, Darva.
We appreciate what you're doing out there, Darva. You're a great example of how we got to work together.
Absolutely. And Ken was the chair of the Black Caucus and a friend of mine, and always will be a friend of mine. And Darva, again, I love to get a chance to meet with you, work with you, and let's find ways that we can help each other. So nothing but love for you. A shout out to a warrior who's been out there fighting, doing the right thing. And we can't win this fight without the guidance of the Almighty. We're not fighting against just normal things. We're fighting against things that we don't understand from a spiritual point. And we got to be careful, and we got to throw it down and keep it moving, guys.
If I could do just a quick call back to one of our earlier callers, I think it was Antonio, education professional in the trades, but an education professional nonetheless. And I when we talk about how quickly these things happen, it seems like they just making one simple move, right? But they're making moves strategically against us. Okay, so without DEIA, diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility, there's no way that we're going to really be able to speak to and help reduce inequality and economic social injustices and the disparities that are born out of them, right? So when you got a system like the University of Florida that overnight pulls all of their DEIA officers, staff entirely out of the organization, right? What does that say to you? It makes a real statement, and that statement is against us. It's against DEIA, and DEIA is there for us. I'm not leaving anybody out. I don't want to sit here and go down that road. I'm just saying we have to protect our interests, y'all. And we talk about the divisiveness, President Ivory. We often hear, I hear you guys, you talking about the problem, and we need to hear the solutions. This is one of the solutions right here, Lobby Day.
Yep. Like, let me say this too. The University of Florida, has an incredible football, basketball team. Now, what we ought to begin to do is make clear to them that every black person who decides to go to one of the university, do not go.
Do not
go.
That's right.
Do not go to the University of Florida,
or anyone
because
that doesn't
they get
appreciate
millions of dollars on sports and athletes. They educate people, but if you don't believe in diversity, equity, inclusion, and you look at our numbers, the numbers don't lie, guys. We're not doing extremely well, but you're gonna take the little bit I got. I just got a little bit of crumbs.
You got some
0.5%, maybe 1%.
and you want to come and take that. Already that I don't have anything. This is serious, guys. I don't know if there's anything more serious than this issue that we're gonna have to deal with.
Well, you know what? It's not just the state of Florida. Okay, you got the mayor of Jackson, Mississippi, Mayor Lumumba. He wants us to stand shoulder to shoulder with him because Mississippi is trying to do the exact same thing, and they're trying to eradicate DEIA and put a new bill in place. And he's saying, listen, if this happens in my state, do not send your black students to my state. Do not send them to college and university in our state, because this will not be a fair place for them to be. This will not be a safe place for them to be. So even the mayor of Jackson, Mississippi recognizes, and he's asking us to stand shoulder to shoulder with him. And you say, well, what does Mississippi have to do it? Because our students from Chicagoland, from Illinois, we send them to these universities, Roll Tide, Alabama A&M, and and Auburn. So, this is going on across the country. And until we show them that we are not going to put our students in place to be a product for your university to make billions of dollars, but yet you aren't going to give our students a fair shake at the table. No, we're not going to send them there to be a product for you to make money with.
So you make them an engineer. They graduate with the engineering degree, architect degree, but then you don't give them a job.
Come on,
have
man.
An opportunity. Now, there's something wrong with that, guys. And I just want us to understand the numbers. The numbers are the numbers. The numbers don't lie. They don't lie.
And President Ivory, I've heard you say a few times here, you say the numbers don't lie. We're not doing very well at all. It's beyond that. We are doing horribly.
Absolutely.
We are doing horribly.
We can do better. Now, here's the other thing is that we need, as a group of, as a race of people, just like we decided to boycott the buses, we're going to have to send a message loud and clear with our $1.8 trillion of buying power. And the only way to fight them is to attack the economic side of it. And the University of Florida, other places who eradicate diversity, equity, inclusion, the state of Alabama, Mississippi have a significant black population, but when it comes to their participation in the politics and everything else, man, they got people down there who don't really, the number of blacks who are in office, even though they got a significant portion of the total population being black, and yet they got little or no representation. Guy, that tells you that's about colonialization. This is how you undermine the people, and if you want to keep people in a weak position, take away the economics. Take away the economics.
A $2 trillion vacuum will be felt.
Hey, LaDonna Ray is going to be coming up here. She's got it. LaDonna, you doing something coming up? Tell us about it real quick.
What you doing?
What you doing, girl?
I'm in a play. It's called Have You Ever? It's by Lenora Rodriguez or Brown Rodriguez, and we last night was opening night. And I have 4 monologues. Didn't think I could do it, but thanks to my coach or coaches, I was able to get it done. Tonight we're opening, or we're at 7 p.m. It's at the Morgan Park High School Academy Theater. And it's just about love, marriage, relationships, relating to one another, and some of the mental health issues that kind of breeze through our community. But it's a lot of life lessons in this play.
So I got to ask you the $1 million question.
What is it?
Number one, are there tickets still available? And if so, how do we get them?
They are still available. If you go to Eventbrite and search for Have You Ever, you will see that there are tickets still available. My father just got his. He sent me a notification, but yeah.
Hey, nothing but love for you. Do what you do, girl. Hey, let's guys, we're getting ready to close out. But, again, to our listening audience, the chamber is here to fight for you, for Black business. And we're committed to that. But we need you to be as committed to it and participate by doing the things that you can do, coming to our networking sessions, meeting with leaders, and getting in front of people, but also challenging when things aren't being done right. And there's a lot of stuff that's out of whack, guys. We got to help make it better.
Now, sometimes you guys be acting like you're tired when we do the networking events on Thursday. So President Ivory, he did something special. He put it on a Saturday at noon.
Luncheon.
So you need to come on in, get a seat at the table. I want to see you. I want to rub elbows with you. I want to network with you. You probably got something that I need for my business. So, come on in. We're going to get it on.
Let's get down. We see you next Saturday, people.
Peace.
Bright and early, 9:07.
Follow us across the socials at The Wake Up Show Chicago. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. It's The Wake Up Show every Saturday morning at